Good morning. It's Elisa James, holistic voice and presentation coach, coming to you live inside the Find Your Voice Aspiring Speakers Club. Now, this is the place to hang out today if you want to improve both the sound of your voice and your communication skills. Every single Wednesday in the morning, sometime between 8:30 and 9 a.m., I go live inside this group to deliver some sort of training. And on Friday around 8:30 Sydney time, I also have an expert interview going on. Now that one is specifically about your business. But today, I would like to bring your attention to the sound of voice. This is one of the biggest things a lot of people struggle with when they feel that they don't have a voice, they don't feel that they're heard in life. They really need to pay attention to the way they're producing sound and their communication skills. Now, today's post is all based on my Voice of Confidence TV, which is inside YouTube. There's lots and lots and lots of great free value, free voice training in YouTube. So I highly recommend that you jump over to YouTube at some stage over the next couple of days and type in the Voice of Confidence TV. There's trainings that go up every single week. Now, last night I premiered my brand new video, the 10 steps to get an amazing speaking voice fast. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, if you have any comments, this is a live broadcast. I can see the comments. So please put the comments directly under the broadcast. And if you're watching this in replay, put hashtag replay and put your comments or your questions there, because I'll come back and monitor the page and see if you guys have any questions around what we're doing today. Now, I'd like to ask you a question to start off the training. Imagine if you're going to the dentist. Not our most fun activity, of course, but I remember going to the dentist and getting in trouble for not brushing my teeth enough or not flossing enough. Now imagine if you went to the dentist this morning and the dentist said to you, "How many times have you brushed your teeth this week?" And you said, once. Do you imagine the response that you would get from your dentist? He would go, or she would go on a rant telling you about the importance of taking care of some of your best assets for life, of course, your teeth. But if you only brush them once a day, that's not much of a commitment, right? It's the same with voice. If you care for and respect your voice, your major tool of communication and connection in life, if you honestly respect your voice and yourself, then you would start to think about the way that you're making sound and how you communicate with people. So in this video today, or rather in this live broadcast, I'm going to show you 10 exercises to really pay attention to your voice, how you're producing sound, and also how to improve the quality of your sound. There's a few things that we need to take into consideration with voice. One is the aesthetic sound, the sound that we actually make when we're speaking or singing. And then the other one is how we piece together information to make it land very easily for the listener. Today, we're going to be talking about the aesthetic qualities, so we're going to be focusing on mostly on that. So number one, let me see if I can show this. I'm still getting used to StreamYard. Number one, this is super important. You have to commit to some sort of daily routine. Now, just like brushing your teeth every day, every morning, every night is what our dentist tells us, right? That commitment to brushing your teeth really well or flossing twice a day is super important to take care of your teeth and make sure you're not going to lose them as you get older. Now, with voice, it's exactly the same. It's the same as going to the gym. You can't commit to going to the gym once a week and expecting to have an amazing, beautiful, strong, resilient body. It's the exact same thing with voice. Our voice, our vocal instrument, is made up of muscles, ligament, and cartilage, and it really needs to be moved as much as possible. It's just like going to the gym and lifting some weights and making those muscles much stronger. The more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the more mastery over you have, over the processes that you have. And the more you do it, the more confident you become. It's as simple as that. So number one is all about daily commitment. Now, I'm going to show you a little routine that you can do on a daily basis that'll take you literally 10 minutes. That's it. but you'll be paying attention to the sound of your voice and how you actually produce sound. Now, the biggest myth is that people think their voice is only here. And this is the biggest thing that I want to make sure that you understand today is moving back so I can show you what we're going to do in a moment. When you're producing sound, the little tiny vocal process that we have right here in our throat, yes, it makes the sound and yes, it makes vibration, but it's not the be all and end all, because if you're not powering it properly, it's not going to work. It's just like if you get into the car, into any car and put your car in the drive position, you take your foot off the accelerator and the brake, it will go forward a little bit, just a tiny bit, but not very powerfully. It's certainly not going to make you win a race, right? But if you put gas in the car and then you put your foot on the accelerator, woo! Suddenly that car just goes speeding forward. You have more power, you have more guts, and it's going to feel different and sound different. It's exactly the same with your voice. So we're going to learn today to use the right muscles and switch off the wrong muscles. So let's first start with a body warm-up. Now, normally I would stand up and do this. I'm not going to do that today because I'm squished in a little corner with my new squares. Oops, over this side. It's backwards in StreamYard. It's a little bit weird. So I've got beautiful squares on my wall that in my branding colors today, so I'm not going to stretch out too much. But the very first thing I want you to do is put your arms above your head. Really feel your whole rib cage lifting up out of your hips. And then pull your arms just gently down by your sides, roll your shoulders up, back and down. And what you can do if you're standing up or sitting down is just bounce a little bit. You'll notice if you bounce a little bit and shake, just shake your body. I've done this in lots of acting classes, a lot. If you shake your body continuously like this for about 1 minute, when you stop, you suddenly feel your whole body just tingling beautifully. It's tingling because the blood and the oxygen has gone through your body and it starts to feel energized and alive. So one of the most important things that you can do before public speaking or being on camera is to really warm up your body and your voice. But you want to start with your body first, especially if you live in a cold place. You don't want to start making sound when your body is cold and you might be in a constricted or contracted state. So the first thing you want to do is a little bit of a warm up. Maybe go for a walk, have a little bit of a shake, have a little bit of a stretch. That's all you need to do. Now, next, number 3, breath control for a calm sound. This is a super quick way to keep you calm and confident when you speak. Because let's face it, when you sound confident and when you sound calm in front of an audience, you're going to feel better about yourself. The biggest thing that I deal with my students every single day in my group classes, in my VIP clients, in any way that I do voice training, most of the complaints around voice not working and mind not working because of nerves. So this tiny little breath control exercise is going to really help you manage those nerves and really speak from the heart more. So sit up nice and straight. I want you to relax your tummy muscles. So then when you relax your tummy muscle, you can feel your throat muscles opening. And what I like to call this is frog breath. Take a nice breath in with an open throat and imagine that you're swallowing a frog. It's not anatomically correct, I get that, but just imagine that everything has to open all the way up to get the frog past the pipe all the way down into your stomach. When you do that, you feel sort of really open and really yawny, and you'll also feel your tummy let go. So the airflow goes into the lower lungs and relaxes and releases that tummy muscle on the in-breath. Now on the out-breath, all I want you to do is breathe out thinking the following words. When I am speaking, my tummy moves in. When I am speaking, my tummy moves in. One more time, do it with me loud. When I am speaking, my tummy moves in. And you'll notice if you do the frog breath and then you use that exercise, every time you speak, you will stay calm and confident. You will sound more calm and confident. And guess what? You'll also remember what the heck you were going to say because you're not going to go into fight or flight. And this is the biggest thing that you're going to be dealing with when you're on camera and when you're on stage. Fight or flight completely arrests everything and throws everything out the window. So this is super important that you're able to calm your nerves and breathe correctly. So that exercise was for a calm sound. Now, the next one, number 4, is core activation. I want you to put your hands back on your tummy for a second. This time we're going to do the frog breath again. And instead of doing this slowly, when I am speaking, my tummy moves in. This time, we're going to actually activate that core muscle, those ab muscles, for a much stronger sound like this. We're going to use ha and ha. And this will make you realize when you get in that car and you put your foot on the gas pedal, boom, the car goes forward. This is exactly what I mean. Frog breath, ha. Take a breath. We're going to do ha, ha. We're going to do it a few times, and I'm moving that tummy muscle in very powerfully. I am not constricting my throat muscles. I'm not using my pharynx muscles at all. I'm not squeezing, pushing, forcing anywhere. It's very relaxed in my body and in my voice, but not in my tummy. Ready? Ha, 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 ha. So you'll see that when I actually activate my support muscles in my stomach, yeah, I'm in the deep end, you can have a much more big and powerful voice. That's why singers with amazing voices sound so good, clear, strong, projected, because they're using the ab activation to their benefit. Okay, now I want you all to be able to do that. Everybody's born with this. Everybody's born with everything I'm talking about today. So it's super easy to learn these exercises. Now, this is for speakers and singers. So if you're a singer, you'll get benefit out of this training as well. Now, the next one. This is another thing that most people have struggles with when they are nervous, and that is closing of the throat. If you've ever been in a situation where you get on stage and then suddenly you feel like you're choking yourself, it's because you've tensed up your tummy muscle and you've tensed up your throat muscles. And then people start speaking like that, or they cough. They literally have a little tickle and then they cough so badly because there's so much tension. So if you have tension, go back to the previous step, frog breath, use your tummy. Now we're going to do something a little bit different to really help you understand these muscles here, the pharynx muscles or the throat, the outer throat muscles, need to be moved away from your vocal folds. When I move the throat muscles closer to my vocal folds, suddenly my vocal folds can't move properly and they get arrested. The problem is that when you don't have airflow, you will stop the sound. If you don't put your foot on that gas pedal, if you don't put gas through the car is not going to go forward. It's the simplest analogy. So when you're arresting the airflow or constricting the airflow, you're going to have a really tight, really unnatural sound, and it's not going to sound very nice at all. People sing like that and people speak like that. Now, the problem is it doesn't sound confident and it doesn't keep you in control. And it's certainly going to lead to voice fatigue and voice loss very quickly. So you're going to do this instead. Open your throat, and I want you to do a big sigh downwards. Just nice and open. Now, every single time you do this exercise, just literally get a little bit higher. And you want a nice open sound, not this. And we don't want any bogan Australian sounds. Like a crow either. You want to keep it really open. So open your throat, make it a bit higher. Just let it really flop out. One more. So if you can feel the sound just leaving your body with no tension whatsoever, and you can feel that airflow coming through, you're doing it exactly right. You're balancing that airflow with no pharynx tension. Fantastic. Now we're actually going to get into a proper vocal warm-up. Now, vocal warm-ups are extremely important. It's just like stretching your body or getting your body warmed up to go for a marathon. It's exactly the same. Now, most of my clients are business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople of some sort. They talk all day. If you talk all day, that's just like running a marathon. If you disrespect your instrument, you're going to get very tired at the end of the day. If you use these principles that I'm telling you today, then this will really work for you and you'll be able to speak for 10, 12 hours a day, no problems like I do. Unlike a lot of my clients have to do with their business as well. So the very first one is called the bubble. And singers and actors do this all the time, no worries. But sometimes for people who've never done this training, it's a bit weird. So I like to take the weight off my cheeks because it makes it easier for me to move my lips. Now, the trick is to this is we're trying to relax our lip muscles here and relax the voice, relax the throat muscles, and just engage the tummy very gently as usual as you stretch the vocal folds to a higher and thinner vibration, and then allow them to shorten and fatten on the way back down as well. So we're using two types of registration. One is called M1 for the lower voice, and one is called M2. If you actually had a camera down your throat, you'd see two very different vocal waves. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to feel it. Every single time you do this, you want to get a bit higher, a bit lower, a bit higher, a bit lower, every single time. Last one. Now, if you're doing this, you'll notice it drives you crazy. It should itch the front of your face a lot, and it should use very little air. If you're doing this and spitting everywhere, you're absolutely doing it wrong. So you want to use the least amount of air for the nicest amount of sound. Okay, next one. This one is called the tongue trill, and it's very similar to the bubble, but instead of using the lips this time, we're going to use the tongue. Now you have to have a very relaxed tongue to be able to do this, and some people cannot do it. I actually had a student in America telling me, I'll pay you $1 million if you can teach me how to do this. And it's hard because I couldn't teach him. I could only show him what to do. So you have to figure it out within your own muscles. Try one more time. If it doesn't work, go back to the bubble. That's exercise number 2. Number 3 is all about resonance. Now, if you hum very gently for a second, hum, hum. When you're humming correctly, you should feel the vibration in the front of the face. If you're doing it wrong, you can hear the sound changes. It doesn't vibrate. You can't hear it or feel it as an audience anymore, and it feels like it's stuck in the throat. Again, that's pressing the vocal folds too harshly together and stopping the airflow. We never want to stop the airflow. We want to manage the airflow, not stop it. So try to hum one more time. And really feel as much buzz in the front of the face as you can. Now, when you've done that, you can start to move the pitch. That's a nasalized consonant. The sound M is in the nose, and the sound N and NG is also nasalized. So this is a really good warm-up to really feel the resonance in the front of the face. And when you speak with resonance in the front of your face, the voice becomes more beautiful, more forward, more easy to project, more easy to listen to for long periods of time. If somebody says to you, oh my God, I could listen to you all day, that's a really good thing, especially if you're in business, because that means that you can reach more people. They're not going to be switched off because you sound annoying. You don't want to do that to them. If you have an annoying voice, nobody wants to listen to an annoying voice. It's very hard. So all these exercises are key to getting a beautiful balanced sound. Now let's try with an NG or a hum coming down the scale in a really wide siren, just like we did with the lip bubble, like this. We're going to do it like this. Watch. Open throat, tummy activation. So you can see that I'm warming up my entire range. When you're speaking and when you have mastery over your speaking voice, you're going to be using a lot of pitches. So you want to warm up all of your range, not just 2 or 3 notes, because then you'll be speaking in monotone. It'll be super boring for your audience. Okay, let's try one more time. Open throat, NG position. And you'll notice that I'm getting a seamless connection between my high registration and my low. I'm not doing this with the big break in the middle. You want to avoid that tension that causes that break, because it'll make you sound like your voice is breaking all over the place and you don't have very much control, which you don't if you have a break. Okay, so this will really help you get a seamless connection from high to low. Now, we're going to bring that resonance even more forward now by putting it in a sentence with maximum resonance forward. The sentence is this. One breath. My mother makes me mash my M&Ms on a Monday morning. Now, the whole idea is to really feel the vibration forward. My mother makes me mash my M&Ms on a Monday morning. Now, I'm not breaking it up like that. I'm actually making it very smooth. Ready? One big breath. On one pitch. My mother makes me mash my M&Ms on a Monday morning. Let's raise the pitch. 2 more. My mother makes me mash my M&Ms on a Monday morning. Last one. My mother makes me mash my M&Ms on a Monday morning. And when you're doing that, you'll feel very powerful and strong in the body if you're using the body correctly, and you'll feel lots of vibration in the front of the face. Brilliant way to warm up the voice before you speak. It doesn't matter what you do in your life. This is really good exercise for every day. Now, number 9 is the articulation. So we're going to finish off with a few exercises to really feel the articulation. One of the things that holds people back in life is the way that they mumble and they're not loud enough. And articulators are so important for that. If you don't have good articulation, people won't hear you, people won't understand you, and people will consistently ask you to repeat yourself. Do you have any of those issues at work or at home? If you do, it might simply be lack of articulation. So when you're thinking about your articulators, when you're speaking, it makes everything so much clearer for the listener. The teeth, the tongue, the lips, and the jaw is what we're talking about today. So next and lastly, I'm going to show you a few tongue twisters that'll really help you be mindful about the way that you're using your major articulators so that everybody can hear every word, no matter if you are an ESL student, English as a second language, or you're an Australian, American, Canadian. You need to have good, clear, crisp articulation to be really heard in this life. So if you want to be seen and heard, start working on your articulation. Here's the first one. It's all about the articulators. No surprise there. We're going to do it 4 times, and here's the one sentence that I want you to repeat. The tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips. The tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips. Now, because of all the T's and the THs, some people who speak English as a second language have a little trouble around moving their mouth in this way. So really go slow first before you speed it up. Now, the end result, of course, is 4 times, 1 breath, as fast as you can. Let's do it 2 times, a little bit slower, and then speed it up. 1 breath. The tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips. So go as fast or as slow as you need to make clear articulation. If it's not clear, slow it down and really utilize these muscles first before you speed it back up. Let's do one more time a bit faster. The tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips. That's tongue twister number 1. Next one is a little bit more complicated. We're going to do it with some hand actions. Tick, tock, tickety tock, tick, tock, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety, tickety, tickety tock. Super easy, but you have to think about how it's put together. Tick, tock, tickety tock. Tick, tock, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety, tickety, tickety tock. Last one, write these down because you can use them every day to improve the sound of your voice. Tick tock, tickety tock, tick tock, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety, tickety, tickety tock. Good job. Now, last two, very, very simple. We do all this every single day as actors. If you want to be very serious about acting, singing, or speaking or performing, you have to do all these exercises on a daily basis to improve the strength and resilience and flexibility of your instrument. The instrument is use it or lose it. When we start losing it at an older age, it's purely because you've never used it correctly, and you might have some health issues and laziness going on in the muscles, which are preventing you from making good, strong sound. Now, I know that muscles can be built at any age, so there's no excuse for us as women or men to lose our voice as we get older. My passion is around voice, so I'm absolutely committed to keeping my voice strong and healthy and confident sounding for the rest of my life. And I've heard people well into their 80s with a good, strong speaking voice because they used it correctly and used it often. So don't neglect your muscles, please. Next one, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. That's a really good one, very quick. So the first one was the tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips. The second one was tick-tock. The third one is red leather, yellow leather. Another really good one is peas. A proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. It's a bit trickier. Ready? Try it again with me. A proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. One more time. A proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. So there you have it. There are 10 steps today, 10 tangible things that you can do to start paying more attention to your voice. It will improve not only the aesthetic quality of your voice, but also the longevity of your speaking. If you really use these tips that I've shown you today in this free training, then you will absolutely get a better sounding voice that will last longer. And this is the key. I'm so passionate about this. I've lost my voice. I know what it's like to live without a voice. It's horrendous. I can't even tell you what it's like to not be able to communicate with people. It's the worst. If you want more training, more free training like this, please just pop in the comments any questions that you have. I'm happy to shoot a video specifically for you. And I love to hear from your audience because every week I schedule new YouTube content for my YouTube channel. It's called The Voice of Confidence TV. So scoot over to there if you want more training. And if you have any questions about voice or want something answered by video, I'm happy to do that for you guys. All right, so welcome to the Find Your Voice Aspiring Speakers Club. So glad you're here. This is the place to be, to hang out if you want a better voice, more aesthetically pleasing voice, and improve your communication skills to boot. I'm Elisa James, holistic voice coach. I'll see you next time. Bye.